Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Diamond Diplomacy, and this is a new documentary from director Yuriko Gamo Romer. And this film is U.S.-Japan relations through a shared love of baseball. And this, hour, 20-minute documentary tells a great story of two nations coming together over the love for a shared sport. And if you're a baseball fan like myself, you understand that baseball is huge in Japan. This film, even towards the very end, highlights how, Japan won the most recent World Baseball Classic, beating the United States at their own game. And that was a running theme where a lot of these Japanese teams would beat Major League Baseball teams that would go to Japan back in the 40s and the 50s and way back even to the 30s. And this tells such an interesting story that has its ebbs and flows in terms of what it's done for Japanese-United States relations and how the love of the game brought these countries together back in the early 30s, and Babe Ruth became this big, spokesperson for Japan, and how World War II drastically changed that relationship and shattered it, and how that relationship had to be mended, and in the 50s, and you had the first Japanese player jumping ship to the United States then, and his story is fascinating, and you get to hear from him quite a bit here. That's really interesting as he played for the San Francisco Giants, and it's a great story and this mini biopic within this greater context of story, and also how it was decades before Hideo Nomo jumped over to play for the Dodgers in the 90s and brought this whole new breadth of Japanese talent jumping over to the United States, with Shohei Ohtani being the highest paid player, making this giant contract when he signed with the Dodgers. And seeing how Japanese culture and Japanese baseball has infused into the United States, that's fascinating. Seeing how the diplomatic elements, the politics, and the racial tensions and all of these things have been so deeply rooted in so much of this, that Japanese pitcher for the Giants getting these threats, with all of that anger towards Japan post-World War II, and how that really manifested itself throughout this. This film's not 80 minutes, but it tells such a interesting and thorough story of the relationship between the United States and Japan through the love of baseball. This does have a presentation of this will probably be on a History Channel or something like that, but it doesn't have the most flair or energy, but it's an engaging, really well told story that gives perspectives from both sides and really broadens your perspective on just how important baseball has been to the evolution of U.S.-Japanese relations throughout the years, over a century, almost a century at this point. It's a fascinating story, and this is an engaging, well-made, well-paced documentary that condenses so much into a manageable size, and you learn quite a bit from it. But those are my thoughts on Diamond Diplomacy. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. Thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.